Welcome back to the Edwards Report. My name's Kaylin, and credit card debt in America has just passed $1.2 trillion. Instead of paying down debt, Americans are racking up even more. And it's gonna get even worse with this coming vacation season. Today we're breaking down who's getting crushed, what's really driving this madness, and how to get free. Let's get into it.
I'm in my 30s and I'm almost $750,000 worth in debt. And you may ask yourself, well, how in the world did you get there? My two largest sources of debt are my student loans and my house. Okay. So my house I originally bought in 2019 for $375,000. I'm now down to $339,638. And my student loans, I graduated in 2016. I've been paying every single month since then. I originally took out a little over $200,000. I'm now at $300,000.
Got to be a doctor, right? Doctor, I don't want to say lawyer, but that's a high amount for a lawyer.
$107,870. So can you imagine? My grand total is $647,508. Now, this is wild, but a lot of healthcare professionals that I know have similar debt ranges. So we're basically worth more negative than positive. How in the world do you get out of these things?
Let's talk credit card debt. I want to vomit. I hate that I'm doing this. This is so uncomfortable for me, but I started TikTok because I wanted to contribute financially. I'm a temporary stay-at-home mom. I took the year off from teaching to work on my mental health and to raise my two boys. And that obviously has been a financial setback. So me doing TikTok was supposed to help with that, but not including my credit card debt, I feel like I'm not being truthful. Right? So I want to be truthful to you guys. I've been following along other content creators that have been sharing their credit card debt journeys and have found success in sharing that. I want to shout out Lauren Doesn't Spend 2025 because she literally looked me in the eyes last night and said, if you're looking for creative ways to pay off your credit card, post about it on TikTok. So here I am. I have two credit cards and I hate that. I hate that we have two credit cards, but it is what it is. The other one was supposed to pay off the other one, and in a perfect world, I wouldn't have spent on the other one, but now we have two. So I'm going to own up to that. I'm not perfect, but here we go. The two. One is sitting at $12,115, give or take. Obviously with interest and cents, I don't have the exact amount, and I can post that for you guys because I do want to be transparent and I do want to share my journey of paying it off, right? So we're going to include that in my content now. So 12,000, that's been sitting like that for a while. I wish I could say that I am paying that off quicker, but I'm not. But unfortunately, the one has built up more than I would have liked. I wouldn't like any of it. I would love to not have any of it, but here we are. So the second one is sitting at $6,965, give or take. Again, I can share the exact amount with you guys.
So it looks like what? Almost $20,000 in debt? Credit card wise, that's not impossible. You know, especially if you have a plan, you're paying on it. But it can balloon really quickly. And she's taken some time off. So they were a 2-income household with 2 kids. Now they're a 1-income household, but there's probably no childcare expenses, which I love. I'm very much a proponent of homeschooling because childcare costs is insane, as well as what they're teaching in these public schools nowadays. You just never know. And the public school prices are insane. So if one of the parents can stay home and raise the kids, saving a lot of money with that. So very much a proponent of this. Hopefully she gets better mentally. Hopefully being around her kids has contributed to healthy mental health for her. And good luck in your debt payoff journey.
So I'm about $4,300 in credit card debt, but after yesterday, I'm now $4,258.79 in credit card debt. This is day 23 of the series where I Spark Drive, DoorDash, or Instacart to pay off my credit card debt, but I'm only going to pay off one card right now. On that one, I owe $3,334.51. We're going to probably go to like $12.30 to like $4.30 and see how much we can make. The goal is to make $100 a day or more.
That's really smart. Like, folks are out here getting these side hustles and hustling to pay off the debt. I love to see it.
Let's get started. I have an order in my trunk right now and it's for $16. This one is for $14. This order in my trunk is for $15. This order in my car right now is for $20. My last order was for $12 and the one I'm on right now is for $30. So I guess I qualified for an incentive. The Spark gave me $24 extra, so I ended up making $158.91. That brings my total debt down to $4,099.88.
Hey, I really like this idea though. Like imagine like so many of us are just listening to podcasts or even watching videos like this. You know, you put this in on the side, you driving around, you sparking. I love to see this.
Hi, my name's Jocelyn. I'm 31 years old and I'm $18,000 in credit card debt. Let's see where my money went last week. Sunday, May 11th, I spent $38.74 on groceries and $30.51 on ice cream. That's from a local ice cream shop. That's why it was so expensive. I got 2 pints. But those were all of the ingredients that I used to make Austin's chipwiches. Nice. Then on Monday, May 12th, a lot of transactions came out of my bank account that it overflowed. So there's all of this that all got filled, and then I had to use Sunday's columns. Spent $64.26. I bought a cake from a local gluten-free baker. My best friend is coming to visit this weekend, and she recently got engaged, so we're gonna put a little cake spread together. I paid my dad $62 for my phone bill, and then he let me know that our phone bill actually increased. What the heck? And so I had a remaining like $8 in my Venmo that I was able to send 7 of that over to him. So it didn't come out of my bank accounts. It was just from my Venmo balance. $138.55 came out for a credit card payment. I've been slowly using my credit card, making purchases that I know that I can immediately pay off instead of what I used to do and keeping a balance on it all the time. $52.35 came out for sushi for me in Austin. $38.61 came out. I bought him some chocolate for his birthday from a local chocolatier. $73.10 came out. I bought a cute ceramic vase for my best friend with tulips on it because she got engaged at a tulip farm in Amsterdam. $37.62 came out for a tulip print that I bought for her also. $100 came out for a gift for my mom for Mother's Day. $4.63 came out for coffee and breakfast with Austin. And then $100 I transferred over to my fun fund. On Tuesday, May 13th, $65 came out for my Costco membership and $353.92 came out for a extra payment towards my personal loan. No transactions came out of my account on Wednesday, May 14th, and then on Thursday, May 15th, that's Austin's birthday, I bought fries at McDonald's. On my way back from work, I walked past a McDonald's and I caved and I bought 2 fries for me in Austin, so that was $7.34. I don't remember the last time I went to McDonald's. We used to have fast food a lot last year. Chick-fil-A was our biggest weakness, but this year we've been so good about it. I think this time and then like one other time at Taco Bell might be the only 2 times that we've gotten fast food this year. And then for Austin's birthday dinner, I bought a sushi, $81.84. On Friday, May 16th, $6.25 came out for parking. On Saturday, May 17th, $95 for my nail appointment. How cute. I never do bold colors like this, but I really like it. That brings my total spent last week to $1,479.72. Definitely on the spendier side.
$1,000 in a week. And it sounds like it wasn't like mortgage and rent stuff. No car payments, just fun money, gifts, birthdays, Mother's Day, friends. Hey, that's life though, and I appreciate her being honest about it. What's the most expensive month for you guys? Barring like not like the holidays and all that. For me, I think definitely these summer months, because you got Mother's Day, you got Father's Day, you got electricity bills that just start skyrocketing. It's insane here in Texas. And I'm from California where it gets hot, but electricity bills are different here in Texas.
It's payday, and we're paying off a credit card. If you don't know, my husband and I are currently in $47,849.39 of credit card debt. You guys know how much I hate our Apple credit card, and its days have come to an end. Thank goodness. Good riddance, literal. We started paying off the Apple credit card at the beginning of February, and that balance was $4,162.47, and we are now in the middle of April and we're paying it off. All right, so let's get into the budget for the week. He got paid today on the 18th, and then I also earned some extra money from walking my favorite dogs that live here in the neighborhood. And then this unexpected is actually money that we had left over from our Vegas trip. So obviously that is going straight to the credit cards.
cool little vacation while you're in debt. We just made a video about that, so the only reason I mentioned it. It's just...
And this is what the rest of the budget looks like. My first payment on this new 0% balance transfer card. Here we go. Apple payoff $4.99 to that, which leaves an extra $156 left over to go towards the next credit card. Here we go. Let's take a look. 0. When I press enter, boom.
Yeah.
Paid off, baby.
I love to see it.
And then
So satisfying looking at that, because we see so many like bad stories on here. It's always good to see, stuff like this. So let's talk about the state of American debt. Credit card balances are up again, hitting $1.21 trillion, and delinquencies are at 12-year highs. 1 in 9 accounts is now 90 plus days past due. That's not a soft landing, guys. That's a warning sign. Some states are even in free fall. Georgia saw a 20.5% spike in just 1 year. And in New Jersey, Maryland, and even California, the average car holder now owes more than $9,000. That's not just inflation. That's collapsing under pressure. People are using credit cards like lifeboats on a sinking ship. And what's worse is the trap is invisible. Making minimum payments at 23% APR doesn't mean you're managing your money. It means you're in a silent cycle of slavery. You're renting your past with your future. And we've normalized it. Everybody's in debt, people are saying. Debt is normal. Everybody has to have debt. But just because it's common doesn't mean that it's wise. Proverbs 22:7 gives us this timeless wisdom. We talk about it here all the time, that the borrower is slave to the lender. It wasn't said to be cute. That was a wise warning against being in debt. And now we're living in the consequences of ignoring it.
I promise you this is a safe space. What's the most amount of money you've owed on a credit card? This can be the past. You don't have to expose your debt now. I promise you this is a safe space.
Comments, $20,000. And now I'm down to $2,000. We got one that says one card, $13,000. On all of your cards, she's saying mind your business. $18,000 on an Amex at 20 years old. How do you even do that? As of last month, that card is down to $800. So that's really good to hear. Courtney says she is $4,000 in credit card debt. We got a $1,500. We got $5,000. Woo! Shanique, $30,000. And now it says that it's down to $6,000. That is insane.
I am in $120,000 worth of debt. You heard that correctly. But first, if you're new here, let me explain. My name is Kaylin. I've dedicated my page to talk about my debt-free journey, and we're going to get vulnerable. But let me clarify that statement. Used to be in $120,000 worth of debt. I am no longer in that much debt. So what happened? How did we get there? And what do I currently owe combined? I was a part of a lawsuit, Sweet vs. Cardona. You can see the pinned post on my page where a bunch of students got defrauded from a handful of schools. So of that result, $75,000 of student loans was discharged from my credit. So as you can imagine right now, that significantly helped me with my debt-free journey. I only owe $5,000 in student loans, and I plan to pay that off next year. That's not my focus. My focus at this moment is my biggest debt, which is my credit cards. And I don't plan to file bankruptcy. That's not an option. I feel like paying them will help me become financially responsible and literate. And I love my relationships with the credit cards that I have. I have 2 Amexes, 3 with my credit union, and 1 with Apple. Honestly, they're not like little mom and pop starter credit cards. I would have been consolidated them, but that is why I'm not going into bankruptcy or filing bankruptcy, and I don't want that on my credit for 10 years. Despite what the internet says, please do your research. It is not worth it, in my opinion, especially if you can pay it off. So if I had to be honest, like right now, I owe approximately $37,000 in debt. And now I only owe $5,000 in student loans, and it's because I went to a school after the fact and I decided to drop out. Of a result of my discharge, obviously my degree is worthless, which is okay. I'd rather take the discharge. Right now, I used to owe $30,000 in credit cards. I'm down to $26,000, and I plan to pay that off in the next year, hopefully sooner. $7,000 on my car. I don't plan to get a new car once I pay this off, baby. We are right into the wheels fall off, okay? I don't plan to get a new car. I think it's just a terrible investment. I didn't really grow up in a home that had a lot of financial literacy, so as I'm learning as an adult, it comes with its pros and its cons.
It's almost been 2 weeks since I started this account, so let's go over my debt, see how much I owe and where I owe it to. I'm gonna go in first to last order of how I wanna pay off the debt. So first off, Chrysler Pacifica, that's our van. The total for it, the loan started at $13,423. We were able to throw a large chunk of our tax return back into this, so we have currently paid off $5,140, leaving the remaining total at $8,283. My goal is to have this van paid off by August of this year. Next on our list, Freedom Debt Relief. This is a consolidation loan. This one started off at $41,885. We've currently paid off $4,557 of it, leaving the current total to $37,320. Next on our list is KeyBank. This is our solar panels. Someone convinced us to get those. They said we would get a big tax credit, and we did, and instead of throwing it at the solar panels, we spent it. The total price started out at $21,276. We've had these for the past 4 years. We've been able to pay off $5,002 of it, leaving the current total to $16,274. Okay, the last one, the big one, our HELOC. Initial line of credit started out at $80,000. We have paid off $350, leaving it to $79,645. This whole time I've been saying we have $100,000 in debt. I was a little bit off on that number. We started out with $156,579. With everything we've paid off so far, we've been able to pay down a total of $15,049, leaving us at $141,530 left. I have a plan to pay this off in the next 2.5 years. My main reason for creating this account was to keep me.
They're tracking really well. That is a lot of debt. It's a pretty big hole, but sounds like they got a plan, and it sounds like they're making progress, which is what matters at this point.
Hey girl, hey, it's Allie, and let's talk about how much debt I have. If you caught my last video, I said I wanted to take this page back to the roots and talk more about money stuff. So totally exposing myself on the internet, but let's go. Starting with credit cards, we have 0 credit card debt. And trust me, it wasn't always like this. When my husband and I first got together, we had a lot of credit card debt. Moving on to cars, currently I owe $12,148.67 on my car. I drive a used 2018 Mazda CX-5, and my payment is $365. Moving on to my husband's car, he drives a 2021 Acura TLX. We currently owe $21,650.58. Payment is $429 a month. And this car was well deserved because my husband's old car was a piece of junk and we didn't have a payment for almost 5 years. Moving on to the mortgage, we bought this house in 2020 for $356,000. We currently owe
Great deal. That is a great deal. How many of y'all would want that? $350K at 2.7%. I want the interest rate. That's the asset right there, especially in the times that we're in.
$189,710.55. And thank God we bought when we did, because we wouldn't be able to afford to live in this neighborhood if we didn't. We lived in this house during Hurricane Ian, and that storm did a lot of damage to our house. Insurance sucks down here, so we had to pay a lot out of pocket, and we had to take an additional low interest loan through the SBA to fix the rest of our house for $11,000. Moving on to student loans, I have 2 degrees. In my first degree, I got scholarships and I got a federal Pell Grant to pay for most of it. The second degree, I paid 50% out of pocket, and the other 50% 50%, I took student loan. But a student loan debt equals $18,191.77. So the total debt without the mortgage is $62,991.02. And honestly, I don't really look at my mortgage as part of my debt. I don't know why. But if you add in the mortgage, we owe $352,701.57. A few of these debts will start paying down over the next year or so, but we're currently working on building up our emergency savings fund. If you stuck around this long, thanks so much for watching this video, and you now know.
Not bad. Not that much debt outside of the mortgage. And even the mortgage debt that they have, looks like they got a pretty good deal. It's unfortunate they live in an area that has sucky insurance, but it's just kind of how it is in certain parts of the country, especially Florida. But no, looks like again they have a pretty good plan. It's a lot of debt, but it seems like they're young professionals and they will be able to work their way out of it. Now I want to talk about the generational pressure and the false promises that being in credit card debt has led us to. And let's talk about who's really getting hit. Gen X currently has the highest balances overall, with over $8,400 on average. But millennials and Gen Z are racking up the fastest, and no one has taught them how to manage their money. I get that these people might be adults, but they were raised by parents that were also perpetually in debt. So yes, the parents are responsible for their debt and the kids are responsible for theirs, but I'm not really seeing the financial literacy that it's going to take to get these next generations out of these circumstances. These are the generations that are fed a lie of treat yourself and buy now, pay later. And now they're paying 29.99% APR on brunch with impulse buys. But here's the deeper issue. Behind every bad financial decision is usually a bad belief. People think that 2% cash back justifies reckless spending. I mean, we've probably all done it, right? Ooh, every time I swipe this card, for every dollar I spend, I get an extra point. Ooh, I'm gonna apply these points to my air travel. Not realizing that it's that type of thinking that is getting you deeper and deeper in debt for a payoff that's not even worth it. They think they can swipe today and figure it out next month. Some even believe that they can file bankruptcy later, like it's just a reset button. Not only is that just dishonest to just anticipate doing that, but I think that's also a mindset that keeps you poor. The solution isn't to try and be tactical, it's spiritual. Real change starts when you reject the lie that debt is freedom. When you realize that budgeting isn't punishment and that it's stewardship. If you're tired of being broke, you don't need another side hustle. You need a better strategy and consistency.
Exposing how much debt I'm in. So starting off, I have $3,428.74 left on my Chase Sapphire Preferred card. So to preface this balance started at like almost 9 to 10K at its highest, and it's debt I accumulated in like 2021, 2022, and I spent like the last 2 years trying to pay it off a little bit more, but I have been prioritizing building up my emergency fund. But I do plan to pay this card off in like 2 to 3 months, which I think is super doable. I could have gotten a balance transfer card, which I do recommend if you are in like super high debt and don't want to pay interest on a certain amount of it. I didn't go that route, which I regret, but it's something to consider. So next are my student loans for $13,579.54. I'm super annoyed with my student loans just because I did get grants when I was in college and I had like a little scholarship. I really just took out loans for like books and things I thought I needed. Plus I just had like loans available for me, so I will be honest, I was reckless with taking that amount out, but we live and we learn. That is a loan I'm going to attack next after my credit card. My last debt would be my car, which is $17,540. So I recently bought a used RAV4 last May. With my car, I do share it with my fiance, so it's both of our cars, but I'm the one that primarily drives it since he drives his paid off Honda. Our RAV4 is like kind of like our family car, so he pays 60% of it and I pay 40%. So the total of all of my debts combined are $34,548.24. $1.28. That is a super big number. So my super outrageous goal is to pay all my debt off before I'm 30. I have a little bit over 2 years, and it would be amazing if I pay it all off by the time I'm 30. If not, I'm not really going to sweat it too much. But
as of today, I am currently in $94,609.58 of debt. Yes, I know it's a lot of debt. Here's how it's kind of broken down. I owe about $81,000 for student loans, about $8,000 left on my truck loan, and then I have about $5,000 of credit card debt. I am really starting to get tired of having this kind of looming over me. It doesn't help me sleep at night, so I decided to start a series on paying off the debt, and I want you guys to come with me. So here's kind of my plan to pay it off. I think number one, and most importantly, I'm going to make an effort every day to pay it off. That's kind of step number one. Step two, is a side hustle called couch flipping. I've been doing it for about 4 years now. It's good money. It's just kind of inconsistent. It just involves flipping furniture. And then besides that, I'm going to use these apps to make some money when, I'm not flipping couches. The way I'm going to break this down, I do have my 9-to-5 job that covers my living expenses. Thank goodness. But with the extra money, I'm going to do a couple things with it. I'm going to split it half and half. Half of it is going to go towards my savings for a new car and just general stuff that I want. I think it's important to kind of stay motivated that way. And then the other half is obviously going to go towards paying down debt. I'm going to pay it off smallest to biggest, kind of. The first debt I have is an Apple Card. I have about $1,500 debt on that. I'm going to try to wipe that off really quickly. The other rest of the credit card debt is all on a 0% interest card. So I'm going to hold on to that for just a little bit longer. And then I am going to, put the rest on my truck and my student loans. For anyone that's curious, my student loans are at an 8.375% interest rate, and my truck is at a 6.14% interest rate. So yes, that's me. Stay tuned.
So the rest would be prioritizing the truck first and then attacking those student loans. A lot of these people are in tons of debt and they're so young. You can see it in their face. I mean, I'm pretty young too. But they have a good plan. They're in a bad situation, but they have a plan. So it's encouraging to see that they're not just being irresponsible. And it sounds like a lot of these decisions weren't even irresponsible decisions in the first place. It's just, kind of investing in yourself in the future. And now, especially with student loans, you just got to pay it back.
My name is Tana, and I'm 9 days sober. When I added up the amount of money I spent on alcohol in the last month, it was close to $2,000. So now that I'm not drinking, I'm going to show you my finances right now, my credit cards, my bank accounts, my savings, everything. I love being transparent. People have been telling me they love seeing the transparency. I love being transparent because there's no shame in anything. We're all just trying to make it here in this world. So I want to kind of expose everything, and then later I can stitch this when I have a bunch in savings and we are just thriving in our life. So let's see. So I have 3 Capital One credit cards. I have a business bank account, a personal bank account, and a high yield savings account. So the high yield savings account is where I'm going to be keeping all the money that I want to save. So
I'm literally broke. I don't have no money saved in my bank account. I'm young and I cannot buy a house because I don't make enough money. I don't make enough money to buy a house, and I'm super broke. I don't have no money saved, and I work paycheck to paycheck to pay my rent. This is what people are saying on the internet. Okay, they're talking about how they don't have no money. It's so many young people who don't have no money, and I'm gonna tell you why. It's because we're overspending on other things. We're overspending. We're overdoing it. A lot of us is going out on trips, buying a lot of food, eating takeout all the time, paying for things that we should not be paying for, doing too much all the time. What happened to us, treating ourselves every blue moon? Treating ourselves has become a thing every single day. Every single day, young people are wanting to treat themselves with something. And that's the problem. We're overspending, boo. You're overspending. That's what it is. A lot of times it's not people's rent. We're overspending. We're seeing the amount, we're paying the bills, and then we're like, oh, this leftover money, I could use it for something instead of saving. I seen this video. This girl was talking about how she don't have no money saved in her bank account but some change. And she showed her bank account. And then she has a credit card, $5,000 in debt.
All right. Pookie, listen to me. You and this gum is about to make me click off this video. I'm going to give you 5 more seconds. 5. And I'm going to count it down. if you don't stop smacking that gum. Oh my goodness.
Debt off of a credit card. I don't even know how is that possible. Like, and she was young. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, I hate credit cards.
I am super embarrassed to talk about this, but I figured if it's gonna help someone or it's also gonna make someone feel less alone in their finances, I think it's worth posting. I'm 26 years old, living in Seattle, Washington, working a minimum wage job while I'm in esthetician school. I want to get my debt and my credit up because I want to own a business in the future and I want to be a solo esthetician. I have to get my stuff right before I even get to thinking about opening up a business. So let's break it down. I have 3 credit cards and I also have some student loans. This is so embarrassing. Okay. This is the credit card with the most amount on it. I owe them $4,363.43. My second credit card, I owe $4,023.15. And then I have another credit card. I tried to access their portal, but I couldn't see. But I'm gonna round up. The last time I checked, I think it was $800, but I'm gonna round up and say that I owe them $1,000. My student debt in total, I owe $7,611.46. So in total, my debt is $16,998.04. My plans on paying this off. I am gonna be door dashing when I can. I am a barista in the morning before school. I usually work from 3 a.m. till anywhere to like 11:30 usually. And I go to school and then I usually DoorDash after. I also have a storage unit that is full to the brim of things, good stuff, that I can sell from my old apartment. Like, I have anything from like a Bissell vacuum, a coffee table. I'm gonna try to flip things and sell things on Facebook Marketplace.
So yes, credit card debt is out of control, but you don't have to be. It's time to stop following the crowd into chaos and start choosing wisdom. You don't need more credit. You need more conviction, discipline, and you need to learn how to delay gratification even more, especially nowadays with all these advertisements bombarding you, trying to sell you on things that are trying to convince you that you need them when you really don't. If this video opened your eyes at all, please go ahead and subscribe to this channel and share it with someone that you love. And if you guys are looking for more tools or a biblically minded community to try and survive clown world, you can join me at theedwardsreport.com. Me, and I should say 17,000 others that are trying to figure out how to survive in these trying times. Remember, debt isn't just financial. It is spiritual, and freedom is possible when you walk in truth. Thank you guys for watching today's video once again. Pray that the Lord blesses you, that he keeps you, that he lifts his face towards you, that he gives favor to you, and that he gives you peace.